Hey everyone, McCalb here. I just wanted to share with you guys the frustration of level 30 through 50 on Barb. It is so painful, but I think I found the way through. Okay, so I've tried all of these different type of core skills: Whirlwind, Hammer of the Ancients, Upheaval, Double Swing, Rend, and they all feel so bad when you base it just off of these spells. Rend kind of feels okay, but it feels like around like level 25 to 30, it just falls off. And Rupture has its couple of levels too, but it falls off as well. Like it just doesn't really glide through getting you to level 50, where the Barb really starts to get strong from the Paragon board. And I think I found the gap from level 30 to 50. So let me share it with you. So basically, I built out this tree, and you only really need one aspect to make it work. And that is this guy. Your weapon mastery skills have an additional charge. You get a second charge of Deathblow. Okay? For those who don't know what Deathblow is, it's this really hard-hitting spell. It has a long cooldown, that's the issue with it, but it hits really hard. And if you kill an enemy with it, its cooldown is reset. So you got two charges, and if it kills an enemy, it will reset the cooldown. That's kind of what you need to do with Deathblow, okay? So let me show you how it works. And I really think that it's around level 30 that you want to spec into this. But you go with Lunging Strike. It doesn't really matter which one you go into, but I would recommend you do at least one of them, whether you get bleeding damage or berserking when you crit. And then you go into Upheaval. You max out Upheaval, because Upheaval has a big AoE. It does pretty good damage. It never kills, it seems to never really kill everything, but it gets most things low. And then when you Upheaval multiple enemies, you get berserking. So now you have a source of berserking, okay? And that's the importance of this. Now, moving on into like the more defensive parts of this, is you have Rallying Cry and you have Challenging Shout. This is very typical for most Barb builds. Rallying Cry gives you a lot of fury. It gives you Unstoppable for at least 6 seconds. And it even gives you more fury if you spec into it, or you can get more Fortify if you spec into that. And you could easily go either way with this spec. Challenging Shout, this is massive damage reduction. It gives you good life, good extra life, and you can gain even more fury when you take damage. And in this spec, these are purely defensive spells. Most of the time when you make a build about a core skill, you're always popping Rallying Cry, which leaves you like 15 seconds where you're vulnerable to crowd controls. And that's how most barbarians die, is they're just sitting there and they get terrified and then stunned. And then right as you're about to get out, you die. And it sucks. But with this, you have Rallying Cry, where you can always break it, because you never have to use Rallying Cry. And if you're really going to panic, you can Challenging Shout. If you kill 4 guys, they're all on top of you and you're slowed, and you think you're about to take 4 explosions, or something along those lines, you have big damage reduction and a little bit of extra life that will mitigate that. Moving on with the spell, you kind of just, you don't do anything brawling spells. You just forget about this. Eventually you'll put points into damage reduction while berserking, and fury generation increase while berserking. But that'll come like in your level 40s. So you get into Deathblow, you max it, you put a point so that you do double damage to dungeon bosses. And if you kill, or if you hit an enemy with it, you gain 20 fury. This is your basic attack. Not Lunging Strike. This is just here to get you into the battle. This is your way to get fury. And it's so cool. You just have to kill every time you use it. Or at least every other time you use it, you have to kill something with it. So that it resets itself. And then you put points into Pit Fighter, like 1 point No Mercy, 1 point Pit Fighter, and then you max Expose Vulnerability. So when you use Deathblow, your next Upheaval will make the enemies vulnerable. Okay, so now your Upheaval makes makes monsters vulnerable, and if you hit 2 or more, you've got Berserking as well. You're doing like twice as much damage, maybe even more, every time you use Upheaval. And that's kind of how you start out a fight, okay? Then you put points into, I did Call of the Ancients. Here's another panic button. This is also another single target, like try to kill a dungeon boss type of a weapon. And then the really cool part is Walking Arsenal. I've never seen anyone in a leveling spec make this work. But what you do is you will go and you will assign, let me go back to the game. You will go and assign your Lunging Strike to your dual wield, Upheaval to one of your two-handed weapons, and Deathblow to the other one. Okay, let me bring that back up. So now you're doing 10% more damage because you used dual wield, 10% because you used two-hand, and a 10% for using the other two-hand. And then when you have all three, it gives you an additional 15% increased damage. So you're doing 45% additional damage for 6 seconds. All you have to do is cycle through them every 6 seconds. There's a lot of aspects where you get Fury or you do more damage as you're cycling through your weapons. And now you have so many aspects that are also open up. You're level 30, you don't have many aspects. You can use almost anything that's not specifically like a core spell. If it's not strictly about Whirlwind or Hoda, Double Swing or Rend, it's probably worth using in this spec. Overpower suddenly has meaning again in this spec. And all you have to do is kind of learn how to cycle through this, okay? And that's just the beauty of it, is with every fight, you use Lunging Strike to get in. There's your dual wield. And then you use Upheaval, which gives you Berserking, and now your enemies are vulnerable. And then you just go around and Death Strike everything. You don't even need your other spells. These are purely just to keep you alive. Rallying Cry gives you Unstoppable. Challenging Shout keeps you alive. And you can wipe the room with your ult. Okay? Now let me show you how cool this is. Okay? I'm level 58 now. I've done about 25 levels as this spec. And it's only gotten stronger. And it's really engaging. It's stronger than almost any other guide that I've seen. I've tried them all, trust me. Let me just show you how it goes. Okay, I'm gonna get some Fury up. This is kind of unusual. Usually you end every fight basically with max Fury, okay? Now I'm gonna go find a group. So I'm gonna go find a group. Oh my gosh, now there's no groups. Okay, there's a group nearby. Okay, so I'm gonna Lunging Strike in. I'm gonna Upheaval. Deathblow kills everything. And you always have to end a fight with Deathblow. Okay? I just killed something with Deathblow, so I can now do the exact same thing again. I find a group, maybe. Where the heck are all the groups? Find a group. Upheaval. Deathblow. Deathblow. Upheaval. Deathblow. I Lunging Strike to get my passive back up. Deathblow. I can do this. Deathblow. Deathblow. Never had to use any of these. These are purely for defensive. Lunging Strike. Upheaval. Deathblow. I'm scared. I'm going to use everything. I don't have to do anything. Deathblow. Okay, I'm ready for the next fight because I have Max Fury and I have Deathblow. I just Deathblowed, so I'm going to get Berserking and I'm going to have Vulnerability the next Upheaval I throw. And you can just see how strong it is. I've two-shot dungeon bosses before. It's very rare, but I've done, like 250,000 damage to them, and that's basically a one-shot. And you get 2 death blows, so 300,000 damage if it's what to kill a boss. I basically 1 to 2 shot dungeon bosses when the crits and the overpowers really line up. Oh, and this is incredibly strong too. After spending 100 Fury, your next weapon mastery deals 164 to 200% increased damage. Like, if you really line things up, you just obliterate everything. And it is so cool. I think that this is the way to get from level 30 to 50. Once you hit 50, Barb's first Paragon page is just busted. Instantly, you can get 20% increased physical damage. You can get another 20% with strength. You get maximum life and armor, armor and strength. It's just incredible, and it only keeps getting better too. More physical damage and life, vulnerable damage, strength. I'll have a glyph soon. I'll have another, damage reduction while vulnerable. Deal extra, or have extra strength. You don't even you just do so much damage now, and you just keep getting stronger. I'm curious how this will feel as I get higher in level. Hope I don't rip. Maybe I can get to level 100 with the spec. I don't know, but thanks everyone for watching. I'm trying to get my YouTube off the ground. Please subscribe to the channel. I stream on Twitch a couple times a week. Please come visit me on Twitch. Come and say hi. And I will leave a link to this build in the comments. Thanks, everyone.